Hey, my friends, welcome back to another Step It Up stamping where we take one stamp set and make 3 cards. And I have to tell you the truth, I really challenged myself today. Have you ever bought a stamp set and then after you bought it go, ooh, man, I don't know what to do with this set? Well, that's today's card. We are using the Peaceful Day stamp set. What attracted me to this stamp set in the beginning is I really liked the 2 sentiments. I have been wanting for a while one that says, "My happy place is with you." And when I saw this, I went, okay, I'm going to have to get this if for no other reason than I love the sentiment. It is very folk arty. I know that's not a word, but very, like Pennsylvania Dutch folk art. And that is actually making a comeback. I don't think it ever really went away, but I thought, well, I should be able to do something with this because it's got a lot of fun pieces. So let me show you the 3 cards that we are making today. The first one is our Busy Bee card. And I tried to stay with bright colors because that's folk arty is very primary colors. I went with a green. My favorite green is Shaded Spruce. So that's what we're using. We're using Shaded Spruce. And I got to tell you, this one, I kind of struggled. Okay, so this is our Busy Bee card. This is our card for when you need a card in a hurry or if you are a beginner stamper. And I'm telling you, if you have never made a card before, this is the card to make because it is super simple. Folk art is generally done in primary colors, a Scandinavian type. So I decided to go with a green. And since my favorite green is Shaded Spruce, that's what I went with. And I started out with just a very simple monochromatic card. White card base, Shaded Spruce matte, Shaded Spruce ink. And this is stamp number 1. I just stamped this in the center. Then I stamped the frame below it. And then I thought, okay, I got to do something with this. So I added in, I don't know if you can see how awesome they sparkle, but these are the opal rounds. And in person, they sparkle a lot. So my friends, cards don't get any easier than this. And if you absolutely hate this color, you could do it in another primary color. Jump on to Google and check out folk art and see if there are some other colors that you would prefer this card in. But I really wanted to do it in Shaded Spruce. And the reason why is I love Shaded Spruce with Pool Party. Pool Party is so versatile, but I love Shaded Spruce and Pool Party as a color combination. And that is why I went with this color scheme. So you could see that all I did was make this mat larger. I just enlarged it, right? Honestly, I should have brought the sentiment up about 1/2 inch, but it works. The card would look more focused, I think, if I had moved my sentiment up just about 1/2 inch, but I'm okay with it. And then I stamped the bird. I really do like this bird. I stamped the bird in Pool Party, and then you have to fussy cut it out because there are no dies, but it's pretty easy to fussy cut out. So see, I would have brought this up a little bit and left the bird where it was, or I probably should have brought the bird down. You know, sometimes when you're making a card and you're in the rhythm of making a card, it worked for me. And then I put the card down and started working on the Queen Bee card. And I came back and I thought, I shoulda, coulda, woulda. But I do think it still works. And what helps are, in my opinion, these opal rounds. This card would not be as pretty, I don't think, without those opal rounds. But the Pool Party just really adds that touch of softness to that bold Shaded Spruce green. So now let's bring in our Queen Bee card. And this is where we step it up. And you can see I learned my lesson from the worker bee card. And on this card, what I did is I brought in a couple of things. You can see I also did an envelope for this. Number one, I kept the same color scheme, except I did bring in pumpkin pie. So you've got pumpkin pie, shaded spruce, pool party. And I think those colors all work really well together, don't you? And I also added in the textured notes dies. That's how I got this really cool stitching around the cardstock. And I really do think that they work very well with the style of this stamp set, don't you? I really do. So I, again, had to fussy cut the bird. And what I did is, because this is one whole stamp, to just make it easier for me at least, what I did was I stamped this stamp again, mainly just focusing on this part. I stamped it in pumpkin pie, and then I just fussy cut those out. I don't know if you can see that they're fussy cut out, but I just fussy cut this out with scissors. Not that hard. But I do think, oh, and then of course I use some of the Misty Moonlight and Basic White ribbon. Obviously, I only use the Basic White, but I like how thin this is, and that's why I went with that ribbon. But again, the textured note dies is what makes this card, because the pattern, I think, really goes well with the folk art look. And you could see the difference in where I have the birds. What do you think? Do you like it better high, or do you like the sentiment up higher? I'd be curious to know what you guys think. It's about 1/2 inch higher on this one. So there you go, my friends. Very, very simple card. I'll be giving you the measurements in the instructions, but I'm really curious. One of the things I've noticed, we've had folk art stamps before. I think there's actually another name for it, but I can't remember what it is. We had a really cool set that was actually very similar to this, not the birds, but the look of it. I want to say about 8 years ago now. And at that time, people either loved that stamp set or they really didn't like that stamp set. So I'm really going to be curious which one is your favorite and which one you would make yourself. I have to say, I think for me, it was not hard to hand cut this all out. And since I have to cut the bird out anyway, I honestly think I'd probably go with the Queen Bee card. I think it needs that extra oomph to really show off the stamp set. I'll be really curious to find out what you think. So this was my challenge, Step It Up Stamping. This was probably, for me, one of the hardest Step It Up stampings I've ever had to do, ever. This stamp set challenged me a lot. So I would be really curious to know what you think. So let me know in the comments what you think of this. I would love to hear what your thoughts are. So thank you for joining me today for another Step It Up stamping. I'll be back next week with another one. Have a great creative week, my friends. Talk to you later. Bye.